And welcome back. For 20 years, Rabbi Shlomo Riskin led a thriving congregation in Manhattan. Life was good, but God was tugging him to the land of his forefathers. So in 1983, he and his family moved to Israel, where he became the founding chief rabbi of Efrat, a position he still holds today. Rabbi Riskin is a good friend of Christians United for Israel, and I was honored to sit down with him recently in his office where he shared the fascinating history of Efrat. Take a look. Rabbi, thanks so much for joining us today on The Watchman.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's always great to be with you, Rabbi. And in Efrat, the beautiful community of Efrat, Rabbi, you helped found this community in 1983. You had a successful congregation in New York. You came here to Efrat. What brought you here, first of all, to Israel, and kind of laid the seeds for what became Efrat?
I came here because I realized this is the biblical promise. This is where God is confirming what he promised us. How can I be in New York? Everything is happening in Israel. I was asked to be a scholar in residence in a settlement farm, a kibbutz, which is in Gush Etzion, the area in which Efrat developed. I was giving a class in the Talmud, and a very special person came. His name is Moshe Moshkovitz, and he's like an Elijah the prophet kind of person who has brought many wonderful people to Israel. And he came to my class, and afterwards he said, Rabbi Riskin, what are you doing in America? We need you in Israel. I said, great. That's 3 people who think they need me in Israel. My wife and me and you. But I can't get a job here. Do you have a few minutes, he said to me? I said, yes, I certainly do. He took me to the empty land, absolutely empty land, but magnificently beautiful, verdantly green, wonderful mountains and hills and valleys. And he said to me, look, he said, Moshe Moshkovitz said, I have a dream. I want to see the city of Efrat, where Ruth and Boaz were married to each other, where a young David shepherded his flock. I want this to be the home of a major city in Israel. Bring me at least 200 families, 100 from New York and 100 from South Africa. Let them sign up to come to Efrat. You bring the people, and I will get all the permissions for us to build the city. Started to work. I started an organization called Reshit Geula, the beginning of redemption. Every single sermon I gave, every Sabbath day, I spoke about Efrat. I got 195 families from America and 75 from South Africa. And we started to build. And the rest is history. But now, thank God, we have 13,000 people living here in 9 hills. And it's a magnificent, magnificent success story with many, many schools, including a major rabbinical seminary, that when the realization of the dream is greater than was the dream, then you know that the one who did it was the only one who can do such things.
Only God. Rabbi, so many amazing things are happening here in Efrat, as you described. One of the really great things is the leaders in Efrat, like yourselves, are extending a hand of friendship to your Palestinian neighbors who live surrounding this community. Talk about that a little bit, if you can.
When we got to Efrat, I wanted to be very clear, from 1975 to 1981. 1981 was the laying of the cornerstone. It took those 6 years. I had already gotten my families together. What was taking all of that time was to make sure that there would not be 1 inch of land with an Arab claim. And the first thing I did was invite all of the Mukhtars within the area. And that meant Wadi Nis and Jot HaShama and Wad Rahal and Hebron.
These are the major Palestinian communities surrounding.
That's right. I invited them all to my home. We had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful discussion.
You have been a pioneer in Efrat with Ur Touristone and also in Jewish-Christian relations. Now you have the Center for Christian-Jewish Understanding and Cooperation. You've broken new ground there. Our viewers might know you well from the Kufi events, Christians United for Israel events that you've spoken at for years with Pastor Hagee. Rabbi, tell us what that's meant to you to help forge closer relations between Christians and Jews.
That which brings us together is so much more important than that which separates us. And if we work together, perhaps we can even bring the Muslims back to the God of peace and not jihad. And perhaps we can bring a secular world to an understanding of the importance of a God of love.
Rabbi, thanks so much for joining us today. Thank you, Rabbi. God bless you.
Folks, God said that he would bring his people back, and that's exactly what's happening. Jews from around the world are returning to their ancient homeland. And up next, we hear the story of one new immigrant to Israel who came from a very unlikely place. You won't want to miss this one. Stick around.